Hi guys, how are you? Merhaba arkadaşlar, nasılsınız? Just before starting, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. So today our lesson going to be past tenses in Turkish. Well, we continue with the simple tenses, basic tenses. There are actually compound tenses, which means combination of couple of tenses. But we will first learn the basic tenses, simple tenses. Up to now, with me you have learned şimdiki zaman, which we use the suffix yor to make this tense. And then you have learned geniş zaman, the suffix a. Now we will continue with the görünen, bilinen geçmiş zaman, which means seen, definite and known, direct past tense. Whatever you call it, there are different names for this tense, but the suffix d. So what we can say, this tense is used for the events that you have witnessed and you have seen when the action was taking place. There's one thing to remind here. If you remember our consonant harmony, so we've got our unvoiced consonants, which we call them sert ünsüzler. P, Ç, K, T, F, H, S, Ş. So, if the last letter of the verb root is one of these unvoiced consonants, sert ünsüzler, so the letter D, which is part of our suffix for this tense, is replaced with T, replaced with a T. So you will understand this with examples in a minute, but let's remember our vowel harmony as well. So we've got our sert ünlüler O, U, A, I, and we've got our yumuşak ünlüler, thin vowels, O, Ü, E, I. What we have said, those letters follows the arrow direction. So, and also, first letters in both chain do not repeat themselves. And unrounded vowels, düz ünlüler, which are A, E, I, again follows with A, E, I. What we have given as an example, deniz. As you can see, first vowel is E and the second one following it is I. But if a word first syllable starts with a round vowel, yuvarlak ünlü, which are O, Ö, U, Ü, then they can be followed by A, E or U, Ü. Examples, göçebe or gönül. And the first vowels in both chain, O and Ö, can only be in the first syllable. This is the rule. So, okay, let's continue with our example. Just before that, don't forget to take a screenshot of this page. Then you can reuse to revise. Okay, let's continue then. So, let's remember our personal suffixes. In this one, actually in this tense, it's slightly changing. So our suffixes for ben, me, sen, ne, o, we don't have any suffix still. Biz, ke, siz, nız, niz, nuz, nüz, onlar, lerler, again same. As you can see, with siz, it was normally sınız, siniz, sunuz, sünüz. Now nız, niz, nuz, nüz. We just removed s section. And biz has changed. It become k. And ben and sen, we removed i before. It was im, in, now m and n. Well, in Turkish, me ve ne. Me, ne. So, let's take gelmek again, to come. So we removed our mek, the suffix which is making it a verb. So we have now our verb root gel. So we are adding our suffix for the tense di, and then we are adding our personal suffix for the positive sentence, olumlu sentence, olumlu cümle. So ben geldim, sen geldin, o geldi, biz geldik, siz geldiniz, onlar geldiler. By the way, take a screenshot of this page and then you can revise again. Okay, let's continue with negative sentence. Olumsuz cümle. Here, what we have said, our suffix for making negative is me, ma. That's why capital A there. It can change according to vowel harmony. So ma, and then we are adding our suffix for the tense di, and then we are adding our personal suffix. So gelmedim, gelmedim, gelmedin, gelmedin, gelmedi, gelmedi, o gelmedi, biz gelmedik, gelmedik, siz gelmediniz, siz gelmediniz, onlar gelmediler, gelmediler. So, olumlu soru, positive question. So, what we have here are suffix for the tense di plus personal suffix and then our question suffix mi. So, what's happening now? Ben geldim mi? Geldim mi? Sen geldin mi? Geldin mi? O geldi mi? Geldi mi? Biz geldik mi? Geldik mi? Siz geldiniz mi? Siz geldiniz mi? Onlar geldiler mi? Geldiler mi? So now let's continue with olumsuz soru. Negative question. Olumsuz soru. Again, we've got our me, ma, and then we are adding the tense di, and then our personal suffix, and then mi, the question suffix. Gelmedim mi? Gelmedim mi? Sen gelmedin mi? Gelmedin mi? O gelmedi mi? Gelmedi mi? Biz gelmedik mi? Gelmedik mi? Siz gelmediniz mi? Gelmediniz mi? Onlar gelmediler mi? Gelmediler mi? So, let's try with other verbs. So, we've got, for example, to tell, to say. We've got our verb demek, söylemek. You can use both of them. Öyle demek istemedim. Öyle söylemek istemedim. So we have got actually here istemek verb want. Actually I didn't want, we have said. So istemek, yapmak istemek. You can use with different verbs this one. Yapmak istemek, want to do. Gitmek istemek, want to go. İçmek istemek, want to drink, that sort of things. For example, yapmak istemedim. Sen yapmak istemedin. You can continue. O yapmak istemedi. Biz yapmak istemedik. Or gelmek istemedik. Here we used gelmek. So combining with want. Gelmek istemedik. Biz gelmek istemedik. Or without using istemek, want, you can say ben öyle söylemedim. Ben öyle söylemedim. Or sen öyle söylemedin. O öyle söylemedi. You didn't say so. So let's give other verbs that you can practice with. For example, to buy. So you can use only almak or satın almak. Satın almak, to buy. It's up to you actually. Or take means take as well. The almak without satın almak. Take something. So let's give an example. For example, we can ask a question. O elbiseyi aldın mı? O elbiseyi aldın mı? Did you buy that dress? Perhaps we've been shopping together and we saw something, but I don't know if you bought it or not. I'm asking, did you buy that dress? O elbiseyi aldın mı? Here actually with using a question word also you can make questions. For example, o elbiseyi nereden aldın? O elbiseyi nereden aldın? Where did you buy that dress? So here you can see aldın. We use the first positive version, olumlu version, because we have got our question word already in the sentence, nereden, so we don't need mı, me here. Or buraya nereden geldin? Buraya nereden geldin? How did you get here? How did you come here? From where? Buraya nereden geldin? So let's continue with the other verbs that you can use. To work, çalışmak, çalışmak. So when we remove mek, we left with our root that we can work with, çalış. Or ders çalışmak, to study, ders çalışmak. And then ders çalış or çalış you can use. The next one, to enter, girmek, girmek. And our root is gir here, gir. Odaya girdik, odaya girdik. We have entered the room. By the way, actually in Turkish we don't separate this tense like that. We don't have entered or entered and have entered. This is only D. So you can use for both tenses in Turkish. There's only this one. Of course, there are other past tenses. Also, there are other ways to explain that difference in the time. But you will learn all those in time, slow by slow. Well, we will continue with another past tense in this lesson. Hopefully it won't be too long for you, but let's continue. Okay, another verb can be to live, yaşamak, yaşamak. And our root here is yaşa. For example, we can ask, Ankara'da ne kadar yaşadın? Ankara'da ne kadar yaşadın? How long have you lived in Ankara? Perhaps we can do positive version of this verb together. Ben yaşadım, sen yaşadın, o yaşadı, biz yaşadık, siz yaşadınız, onlar yaşadılar. As you can see here, D has changed to do because of our vowel harmony. You know this, I think, now by heart because I've been keep repeating in each lesson. So, shall we continue with the mişli geçmiş zaman? Mişli geçmiş zaman, we call it mişli geçmiş zaman. The name comes from the suffix we use for this tense, miş, which also named by öğrenilen, duyulan, geçmiş zaman. So this tense we use for actions that you haven't witnessed, but you have heard from someone else. So this is indirect, reported past tense. Let's start with our personal suffixes. Well, you can see from the screen, our suffixes actually is the same suffixes that we have used with şimdiki zaman and geniş zaman. Oley! So our work is slightly easier than the dili geçmiş zaman. well, with the suffix D. We call it like as D'li geçmiş zaman as well. I think I've forgotten to mention that. D'li geçmiş zaman. And this one is mişli geçmiş zaman. So, should I repeat the suffixes? Okay, let's do quickly then. Ben, im, sen, sın, sin, sun, sün, o. We don't have any suffix. Biz, ız, iz, uz, üs, siz, sınız, siniz, sunuz, sünüz, onlar, ler, lar. Let's quickly jump to our positive version. Olumlu sentence. So, gelmişim, gelmişim. Sen gelmişsin. O gelmiş. Biz gelmişiz. Gelmişiz. When you say it quickly, gelmişiz. Siz gelmişsiniz. Onlar gelmişler. For example, you were expecting some guests and you were not at home. Perhaps your wife was at home and you get home and you saw your guests are there and you are saying, misafirlerimiz gelmişler. As you haven't witnessed it, you were not at home, you haven't seen it, that's why we are using this tense. I don't think we have anything in English to express this difference. So this is special to Turkish, I guess. Let me know in the comments if you have this tense in your language as well. Negative sentence. Let's continue with negative version of this verb. Olumsuz, we call it. So we are adding our mema, the suffix for making it negative, and miş for the tense, and personal suffix. Gelmemişim. When you say it quickly, gelmemişim. You can slow down the video and listen how I am saying it as well. YouTube has all these functions. Ben gelmemişim. Sen gelmemişsin. Gelmemişsin. O gelmemiş. This may sound a little bit difficult for you, this tense, but you will get used to in time. Gelmemiş. Biz gelmemişiz. Siz gelmemişsiniz. Onlar gelmemişler. What about positive question? Olumlu soru. So, it's easy, like we have done in şimdiki zaman and geniş zaman. We are taking the first part of olumlu positive verb, which is gelmiş here, gelmiş. Then we are adding our question suffix mi and then personal suffix. Gelmiş miyim? Ben gelmiş miyim? Sen gelmiş misin? O gelmiş mi? Biz gelmiş miyiz? Siz gelmiş misiniz? What about olumsuz soru? Negative question. Again, we are using the first part of our negative verb. Gelmemiş. And then again adding mi and personal suffix. Gelmemiş miyim? Ben gelmemiş miyim? Sen gelmemiş misin? O gelmemiş mi? For example, you're expecting a post and you checked your, or you ask your wife to check the post box and she checked and you're asking, posta gelmemiş mi? Posta gelmemiş mi? Because you have seen she has nothing in her hand. You're asking, posta gelmemiş mi? Okay, continue. Biz. Gelmemiş miyiz? Gelmemiş miyiz? Siz. Gelmemiş misiniz? Siz. Gelmemiş misiniz? Onlar. Gelmemişler mi? Gelmemişler mi? Onlar gelmemişler mi? Okay, let's give some verbs that you can practice with. To know, bilmek, bilmek, and our root is bil. So, gerekmek, got to, should, gerek, gerek, gerekmek, gerek. Or to go out, get out, exit, çıkmak, çıkmak, çık, çık. Or to be present, exist, bulunmak, bulunmak, bulun, bulun. Or to provide, sağlamak, sağlamak, sağlamak, sağla, sağla, sağla. Yumuşak G might sound a little bit difficult to pronunciate for you. Sound. Sağlamak, sağlamak. To live or to sit. It means, depending on the context, it can mean to live or to sit. Oturmak, oturmak. Otur, otur is our root. Maybe you're saying that your husband lived in Ankara, but you haven't witnessed to this situation, so you are telling to someone else. You need to use mişli geçmiş zaman. Eşim Ankara'da yaşamış. Eşim Ankara'da yaşamış. Eşim Ankara'da yaşamış. Well, you can use my husband or my wife as well. Kocam, kocam, my husband. My wife, karım, karım. Kocam Ankara'da yaşamış. Karım Ankara'da yaşamış. As we haven't witnessed it, so we need to use mişli geçmiş zaman. Yaşamış. So these are all from me. I think it's enough to practice now. I'm leaving all these verbs for you to practice. If you have any comment or question, you can write just under this video. I will try to get back to you. Okay, it's now to say goodbye. Görüşmek üzere. Görüşürüz. Hoşça kalın arkadaşlar.